The first official game of the NBL26 Pre-Season was last night. Now, were both sides missing key pieces? Yes. Is that going to stop me from making some way too early predictions? Of course not. So Sydney travelled down to Tassie to play against the Jack Jumpers. Both sides missing their guys from the Asia Cup team immediately. And what we're going to see here is Delhi and Tim Suarez. The connection that these two guys have is what I think, and this is one of those way too early predictions, going to be one of the best point guard center combos that we've got in this league. It's such a danger because Tim Suarez, he can attack the ring, and we'll see that in a couple of sets. He can attack the ring, but he's also a really good three-point shooter. So he's one of those guys that you just always have to be very aware of, because we'll see right here, just literally the very next play, kicks it out to Suarez all the way to the ring, draws the foul. So we've already had a play where Delhi's taken the three, we've had a play where Suarez has attacked the ring. So a couple of different looks. Here's just a simple, rejects the screen, lobs it up in the jam. Now this happened countless times throughout the game, and which kind of leads me into another point, but this attack, this point guard center combo, where the point guard can shoot the three, the point guard can get to the ring himself, and then the center can shoot the three, the center can get the ring to themselves. It creates so many options and just a massive headache for the opposition. Now I say this leads me on to my next point, because I think the biggest takeaway that I took from my, way too presumptuous feelings from this game is the Tassie have gone away from their old, ethos of defense and how important defense is. And I know that that's changed because they lost some of their key pieces from last year, and losing Sean McDonald in the preseason doesn't help, but defense at least wasn't there yet for this game. And the biggest thing from it was their internal defense. Now, yes, they're missing Will MAGNAY, and Will MAGNAY is the center point of this team's defense. And they were also missing, Kobe Williamson, who I assume is going to be the backup five for this team. If MAGNAY, has to sit with foul trouble or any other reason, then they really lack in the big department. Because is it going to be Kobe Williamson who's their backup five, or is Josh Bannon, who also wasn't playing, going to slide down to that center position? Because if it's Josh Bannon, then you're losing a fair bit of that lateral quickness, of that rim protection, of that, ability to clog up the paint, which Sydney really exploited. And while, yes, Sydney probably have the best guard combo in the league in Davis and Dellavedova, they're really able to exploit that. And pretty much any, good point guard, especially if the opposition has a really solid five, like an Adelaide, they're really going to be able to exploit that. So, not panic stations, but something that I'm definitely going to keep my eye on for the year for Tasmania is how do they look with MAGNAY sitting down. Just to highlight this a little bit more, so take a note of the score, 93-91, we're just coming out of a timeout. Sydney are bringing the ball up, full court, simple D, really important time for Tassie to get a stop. Not bad D to start, kind of just playing one out, set the screen, just a complete collapse on defense, not a lot of talk, not a lot of communication. Give up the three, and just like that, you've given up the lead. Once again, it doesn't update on the score bug because it's preseason, that's alright. But just another miscommunication, collapse, and then not matching up on defense. Just like that, you've gone from being 2 points ahead to 5 points down in the space of about 20 seconds. Just to prove that it's not all doom and gloom, I want to show a couple of really good defensive plays. Here's Bryce Hamilton, no relation, showing that he's got some springs in his legs and that he can play some D, he can time and predict the ball really well. And then they're going to play some good team defense following this play. Take note of the score, 88-91, final 3 minutes of the game. Containing their man, Kendrick Davis. They predict what's coming, they blitz the screen, they force the Kings into a scramble, and they give up a shot that they're happy to live with. Very next play, Kings are looking to push the pace, they get back really quick on defense, drop back into a bit of a zone, one out with Daly in the low block, and then they win it out. So Bryce Hamilton is going to be a key part of their defense, especially on the guards. And then here he is in the corner. He knocks down the triple to tie the game. So they can play, they can push the pace a little bit. Team defense is going to be really important to them, especially in those moments that MAGNAY is not on the floor. So look, all in all, is it panic stations? Absolutely not. Is it bad to rely on the best local centre, if not the best centre in the league, to be the main focal point of your defense? No. Is he going to play a whole bunch of minutes? Of course he is. But what do Tassie do when he sits down? That's the big question I have coming out of this. For Sydney, they've got the best backcourt in the league right now. Until I'm proven wrong, until DJ and Bryce Cotton can show me that they can work together and that they can play on both ends of the floor, that's the big question for them, then Sydney have the best backcourt in the league. Also, the Delhi and Tim Suarez connection is really scary. It's going to be really fun to watch. And it's going to be a headache for a whole bunch of centers in the league.